Waiting for the mayor.
So that people know that the occupation is going on, and we're like got a real plan together. We've got.
What I feel a little bit challenged on is justifying occupations at such minor centers.
I tried to ask.
I'm Deb Kozak, and I'm a Nelson City Councillor. So, hi, Solomon.
So as a city councilor, she's just like a block of city councilors, is that specialized city councilor for that?
No,
we just happen to be here.
we just happen to be here. We were actually meeting with the Nelson Baseball Association. Yeah, and then we go. Yeah. So Solomon, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. I'm going to call my work.
Oh,
I'm on call, okay. Hello? Hi, this is
Oh yeah.
Well, you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
who you are.
yeah, I know
So
who I am,
actually,
so-
down here.
down so that in case it continues to give an idea of where everybody's going, and keeping in mind that like with the Occupy Wall Street, it takes them about 2 weeks of getting together and having their meetings, their general assemblies and stuff to come up with that, right? Because it's not like a group that's a head down with the one message and this is it. This is meant to be a grassroots exchange of ideas and a natural organic coming together of events, and so it's being balanced between logistical needs and vision needs as well. So the zombie march is going to be lots of fun. Right
So,
for Halloween.
so maybe I'll just, this kind of gives us an idea. Maybe I'll just read this out loud and we save time. Ongoing occupation at City Hall. This is what's planned. There will be daily meetings from 12 noon, or daily meetings at 12 noon and 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Community jams every day at 3 p.m. Community potluck, October 22nd at 5 p.m.
That's Saturday.
That's Saturday. A financial crisis workshop on October 23rd at 3, and a corporate zombie march on October 28th at 4:30. So, and it says here, Occupy Nelson started as a community response to the call for worldwide action in solidarity with the thousands occupying Liberty Park in New York for Occupy Wall Street. There are now thousands of Occupy camps around the world. Our camp began on October 15th as the conclusion of the 1,000 people march through the city to demand the end to global economic injustice. We are in unity with the growing consensus that the top 1% of the world should not control and dominate the remaining 99%. We are the 99. As corporations record massive profits, more and more of us are living paycheck to paycheck, accumulating more and more debt, are underemployed or unemployed, living in shelters or on the street. At the same time, governments are gutting social services and refusing to protect the environment. This is not acceptable. We need to join together as a community to create real solutions that meet all of our needs for food, housing, food, and love. So that's basically your
Maybe I'll just get a copy of that.
Yeah, but here in this building here is people who are thinking about this community every day, and now there's people also outside who are actively engaging in it. And so with our free street speech and democratic rights, that holding that the public square, it's been a beautiful experience. The amount of support has been amazing, and then the exchange of ideas and the discussions. We're finally getting to some of these things instead of just to our partner.
We've received hot food every morning, and some of them during the day, every day. It's always unsolicited. It's always people we don't know. People just come by, they leave tarps, they leave tents, they say, hey, do you need anything at all? Like that. I don't know how well you can get the street from here, but we get a lot of homes. It's a lot of agency. Like what's going on in other parts of the world. And that things are peaceful and stuff. And as you can see, we're doing our best to keep it clean. Like we've kind of pushed room there, and we're trying to respect the space. But it's definitely
Yeah.
so. We do have some, as I say, logistical concerns. Like there's been talk of inadequate washroom facilities, and we have some, just like some little things. And we also be very particular, just like. You guys probably weren't expecting this. We need to put you in the right spot. And naturally, we don't wish to convey no harm whatsoever. And if there's any concerns you have, we certainly like to hear.
This is not a protest against City Hall. This
No.
is
No.
like everyone.
It's not a revolution,
this is
it's an evolution.
Yeah.
It's
an
time for our
occupation of
society to
policy.
evolve and not revolve.
Revolution
You know,
goes
and with the intention of continuing on with this, now we have the one workshop organized, and we're talking about inviting someone from the Council of Canadians to come down and talk about CETA. We just had the conservation wildlife, and the layoff notices there, right? The local things, right?
So there's
On
enough,
all
there's definitely
different
a lot of
levels.
ideas flying around.
And coming
No
together,
problem.
but at the same point in time, I'm going to be leading the financial crisis workshop because I think it's really important people understand the pieces and the history of how we are here today, so that way we know what type of path we would be laying out, so that we're not repeating the same mistakes and we're not just reforming or doing reforms to a fundamentally broken system. But-
We do have meetings every day at 7, and during those meetings, like, certain themes keep coming up, like concerns that we have, and I'm sure concerns you have as well. Like, we definitely do require support of porta potty out there. We have gotten some possible support from communities. Some people say, well, I'm going to call and complain about this to a porta potty company. Maybe they'll donate something. But talk to them. We asked them, some of the police that came by, what are your concerns? Like, well, yeah, you guys want the washroom. So, definitely every meeting that we have, the first thing everyone talks about is when are we going to get some kind of washroom? Now, in other occupations going on in our cities, supporting people and things like that, it's peaceful and everything. Something was facilitated by City Hall. Everyone that could
Well, we can look into what other communities are doing. Right
Sure.
now, we don't see that as providing portable washrooms in our courtyard. It doesn't seem to necessarily fit, but we can talk to
There's the old storage facility down below that
Yeah,
used
we
to
have
have
our-
washrooms in it. Couldn't we put porta potties outside?
We have our records are stored in that building,
That's
so
cool.
we couldn't
Like this.
have that.
When on the
around the
Saturday
corner, we're
march,
flexible.
on the Saturday march, they had a porta potty, and it was in one of the parking spaces.
Yeah, it was right over there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and so it needed to be moved,
Yeah.
at the end of the weekend, right? And so it got moved on there. Because otherwise we would have to find somebody close by with some private property to put
Yeah.
it on. So, so if we were able to, I'll just throw this out as an idea. If we were able to come up with a porta potty, do you think that we might be able to get like a parking spot down there? So it's certainly not in the courtyard. We're not certainly not talking about that. But, it's about where we're placing it. Like, we could take responsibility for the costs and that sort of thing and the rental of that. If we had a space that you might that could accommodate it. So if you could consider that.
We can talk to council about
Yeah.
that. So I just made a note of.
Yeah, and another sort of logistical item is, somebody donated a kettle, which is great to make coffee and tea in the morning and to make washing the dishes and stuff. And right now with the crew, we think maybe half a dozen times a day get plugged in and things, and we're wondering if there's a way in which we might buy the power, like if we can use the plug that's outside, and again, we'd be willing to pay to be able to do that. It'd be a lot more convenient than, going down the street and plugging it in at another business and carrying it back, and we could have it right there. And it helps the occupiers keep things cleaner better, right, with their dishes and keeping that down. And we would be happy to cover any costs, for the electricity, because it's the city paying that bill. And, so we're not necessarily asking the city to
Give us free
subsidize
power.
in that way. In fact, if there's something about the parking space, again, we could even take a look
We
at
could
if we
use
can
what
get
it is.
support so that we can pay for that parking space, so it's not subsidized, because if we can get that support there.
I
What
was
do you have to say
also-
about that? Any thoughts?
I'm listening, I'm making some notes, and then we take it all into consideration. That's what we can do at this point in time.
One thing I would like to ask, could we possibly get a couple black garbage bags so that way we could clean up the leaves in the courtyard and have a place to put them, so that we could also
And-
help keep it clean? Because with all the tents and stuff out there, it's hard for city workers to come in and keep it clean. So we're trying to keep the facility clean so that you guys don't have a mess everywhere, right?
With the cigarette butts do end up on the ground. We got a push broom, we've been sweeping them up, but we sweep up so many leaves with them, which is fine. We're happy to respect the space, but we don't have
garbage mix. We use.
Mhm. I have a great spot to go to use as a compost area as well, to bring the compost out of here.
One
So
of the-
our maintenance staff or for the building
Mhm.
would normally do that, which obviously is a little more difficult with
Yes.
folks there.
That's
So,
why we're
so
offering
for you guys
to
looking after